Hello, everyone. Thanks for checking out this live stream, Sunday Live here. Well, hello, everybody. We'll noodle around here for a minute while folks join in. So check that everything's kind of going well enough here. Looks like it's okay with the stream there. right, so I'm going to mention a couple of things. So I've got a video coming out here soon, about 4 o'clock today, and I had a little mishap with the Sunday Live earlier. Actually, accidentally went live ahead of time, so there that issue. So I ended up deleting that and kind of starting again. So might be a little bit of trouble finding it, but hopefully folks try it, find it. So I've put together a video. Well, I've been working on putting it together for a couple of days here, and but I put together a video for "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," and this is I was referencing a Ted Green arrangement. So check out the website tedgreen.com to see if you can find that there, but it's kind of meant to give a little extra help with the tune. So I wrote out a bunch of slides and things, and then we put together a video based on that. So I think it's going to turn out pretty well, and I have it coming out. I have it set to come out at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So and I have a redirect going from this this live stream to that one. So I have a few private students recently working on circle of fifths and things like that. So I thought maybe we'll talk a little bit about that and maybe tie that into kind of tritone substitutions and things like that. So let's check out a little bit something here. So let's say we have a key center here. Let's say we have a C chord, and we're thinking kind of key is C. Go down to F, and then B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F sharp, B, E, A, D, G, and C. So there I'm playing triads on that. So you get a sense for that. So that's kind of going through the circle of fifths. And then we can put, 5-1 progressions on those. So say G7 to C major 7, C7 to F major 7, F7 to B flat major 7, B flat 7 to E flat major 7, E flat 7 to A flat major 7, A flat 7 to D flat major 7, D flat 7 to G flat major 7, F sharp 7 to B major 7, B7 to E major 7, E7 to A major 7, E7 to D major 7, D7 to G major 7, G7 to C major 7. And there we've kind of completed the whole circle, right? So there's a 5-1. Then you can build 2 5s into that. So one thing to try if you're feeling good on that is say, okay, G7 to C7, F7, kind of drop the 1 chord, kind of head down in the same fashion. Play like all dominant 7th chords. So one thing that's kind of neat to check out about that is to see those 2 tones. I'm just playing some very say shell voicings there. So when we move those things around, we have these kind of 2 tones. They're playing it's a tritone there. C7. So here's another little kind of fun thing to try. So we've got these 2 tones, and then we have some sort of say bass note. So you say, okay, play the same 2 notes on the middle, 2 strings, and then move down to F like that. So kind of putting an intermediary step, you might say. So there's a little movement to it. So let's say instead of F7, like this, like we just did a moment ago, see if you could swap your lowest note a tritone away from itself. So all right, so we kind of just added a little bit of a bass note into that. Okay, so there's where you could really, work a little bit on those tritone substitutions, get a sense for those because we have shared tones of the 3 and the 7 of F7, F sharp 7, and C7. All right, so we have those in common there. Right, and then we can also just kind of use those for soloing. Okay, and just kind of moving around the neck and maybe using some arpeggios and all that. All right, well, let's check out a little bit about Ted Green here. I think I may have talked a little bit about him the other day. So or the other week. So let's check out his website here. See if we can get that dialed in. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. We've been talking about the circle of fifths, things like that. We did a whole talk on working through some patterns in the circle of fifths. So it's been pretty fun. So maybe I'll continue to elaborate on that. But let's check out a little bit about Ted Green and check out his website a little bit. All right. So there's a website, tedgreen.com. and I believe you can find a transcription to "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." See if I can see that. So there's quite a lot here. Let's check this out. I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit. So Ted Green, check out Ted Green transcriptions. Written down from Ted's recordings, audio recordings. I'd like to learn a little more about, yeah, how they come up with some of these transcriptions and things. So there are a couple little things in the video that I release here at 4 o'clock that a couple little things that I did mention a couple of moments there. So we have a bunch of transcriptions of tunes. Let's see if "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" is in here. Looks like it is. So I don't know if it's the same one that I'm referencing or not, but that one's in here. So so be sure to check that out. So a couple of tunes where you're going to find circle of fifths rhythm changes. We're going to have circle of fifths going there. Anytime you have the 1, 6, 2, 5, or 3, 6, 2, 5. Those kind of motions there, and you can even have really small segments of it. So a 2, 5, 1 in B flat, for example, is circle of fifths too. So it's a kind of a segment of three chords from that. So you can follow the circle within a key area. Now the bridge for that also has quite a bit going in this way. So we have the D7 is the 3 chord, and then the G7, and then we get the C7, and then the F7. All right, so those motions there. All right, we can also put 2s in front of each one of those. So we get A minor 7 to D7, D minor 7 to G7, G minor 7 to C7, C minor 7 to F7. All right. So I'm streaming on Facebook. So let me check out, see if there are any comments or questions there. Okay, and I'm also podcasting here. So, live stream podcast. And then, of course, on Facebook and, YouTube. I'll play around a little bit on all the things you are. So we looked at a John Scofield solo on that tune this week. So I'll play around on it a little bit on the tune, that is, the changes. right. So everybody's been having a good week. I wanted to get a video out earlier this previous week, but that didn't pan out. But anyway, got a video coming out later this afternoon at about 4 o'clock. So if you get a chance to check that out. Hi, James. Glad you made it. How's your guitar playing going? So the all the things you are is a tune that that runs through the circle of fifths. So we have, let's say, key of 4 flats. And we kind of run through it like this. Right, so we have F minor. Oh, glad to hear it, James. B flat minor, E flat 7 to A flat. So that's a 6, 2, 5, 1. So there's a good example of circle of fifths, and then it ends up, on this the 4 chord in the key D flat. So or on D flat, the key of A flat, which is the 4 chord. Right. So when you're playing, might outline the chord changes a little bit by playing some arpeggios. Flat, E flat. Maybe add some other tones into it. And then kind of adding some maybe sort of outside elements. It's a really cool book by David Liebman on that subject. You can check out um, it's called Chromatic Approach to Linear Harmony. So there's some kind of techniques that you can use as you may move through a progression like that. To kind of work through it. Let's see if I can find that. Just check out David Liebman a little bit. David Liebman. There's a guitarist that has since passed away that played in his group quite a lot. Called his name was Vic Juris, and he was really um, pretty cool. I really liked his sound. Kind of used some chorus and stuff like that. This is kind of cool. I didn't know about that. I haven't checked out Dave Lehman in a little while, so check that out a little bit. So let's check out his website. So this is an area of playing that I'm, pretty interested in, which is just kind of the just kind of exploring, the outside of things and knowing the inside and the outside. Let's check out Dave Liebman a little bit. All right, so he's a saxophone player, kind of. I would say heavily influenced by Coltrane, and played with a lot of really great musicians. John McLaughlin, there's another guitarist. He's got an honorary doctorate for jazz. It's the Bailey's Academy. It's pretty cool. And some other accomplishments and things there. He teaches at New York University and guest lecturer at Berklee College of Music. Learning opportunities. So this is an interesting book. I hadn't really heard about this. So this is The Art of Skill. That sounds really interesting. I'm gonna have to check more into that. But that sounds really awesome. The Art of Skill. Look that up here real quick. Art of Skill. Skill by David Liebman. Available on Amazon. Let's check this out. Art of Skill. Oh, these are some really awesome endorsements. Little comments on these. Can see that okay. So we've talked about Steve Swallow a bit on the channel. Dave Liebman's appetite for knowledge is ferocious. He never stops, provides an insistent reminder there's more to know. Eat that book. That's pretty cool. And the other book I was mentioning, maybe I'll see if I can find that too. I'd be really interested to check that book out. Let's see if I can find this other book. It came out quite a while ago, and it's got a little bit of a Matheny endorsement to it too. Is endorsement the correct word? I'm not sure. Let's see. What is it? Acrobatic approach to jazz harmony and melody. Okay, there we go. It has a pretty cool cover. Let's see if we can find it on his website. That'd be kind of cool. I was hoping they would show us a nice big picture of it. So let me see if I can find a nice picture. It's kind of cool art on the front cover. So let me see if I can seem to find a nice big picture of it. But anyway, it's a really cool book, and I got some pretty neat concepts in it. Where you take, might take let's say the 2-5-1 and C major, and see if you can, impose different chord progressions into it. So maybe I'd say so. There's just sort of an illustration of D minor 7 to G7 to A flat minor rather, A flat minor 7 to D flat 7, and then to C. So when you check that out, you can reorder all of those chords. So you might say, so there I played D minor 7 to A flat minor 7 to G7 to D flat 7. So rather than playing, D minor, G7, A flat minor 7 to D flat 7. The shift is kind of maybe a little bit obvious. So you might say, kind of mixing those up is kind of a cool idea, I think. So you might say D minor, D flat 7 to A flat minor to G7. So you think you should try to develop a line around that. Say, so D minor, D flat 7, D flat 9, and then A flat minor to G7, and kind of putting those kind of in any sort of order. So that's kind of a cool technique, and it talks a lot about giant steps too, and maybe you could play, creating a line with it talks a good bit about superimposing progressions, and so you could have a chordal player playing D minor to G7, and while that's happening, you're playing all these other changes to it. So you might say D minor, E flat 7, A flat major to G7. You're kind of sandwiching those that 5-1 and A flat between the 2-5. Or you could go to E. So and end up on C. And then he talks about just kind of even just changing the chord qualities, all together. Maybe playing, just different ways to kind of get outside, maybe. And I think the challenge is to, create a kind of a smooth line, you might say. So right, and just kind of develop some some control and things like that. So one thing I learned a little bit about Ted Green as I was, checking him out a little bit, and you could sort of see this in the pictures if you do a search on Ted Green and see kind of I think him at his studio or wherever he was maybe teaching or practicing or um, doing his things. Maybe in his office or studio, you can see, how many books he he has there and how many maybe just papers. I mean, it's hard to get specifics on what he had there, but written out parts and things. So one of the techniques I talk a little bit about in the video that is coming out here at 4 o'clock, I'm going to redirect. We're going to redirect to that, and that's going to be a premiere set here, and I'm gonna try to monitor the chat. So if anybody wants to ask me a quick question, I'm gonna try to monitor the chat afterwards. So you can ask me a question or I'll talk about it. But one of the techniques is to take a chord, play two strings with one finger. The challenge there is to not block this fourth string, in that case. So that's a little bit of maybe like a specialized kind of technique, and there are a couple spots where that happens. So he's got another spot, I think, here where he does that. So you get. So I'm going to try to get those two notes and that. So I'm touching the string 5 and 4, getting that. So that's kind of a, maybe a little bit of a specialized kind of technique. I think ultimately when so I have a couple of plans for this tune. So I have basically 3 videos planned for it. So this first video that's coming out in about 15 minutes is kind of the chord melody shapes. So just like a pass through of all the shapes, and it goes by really quickly. If you are a beginner, it's probably going to be really super tough. But you can certainly give it a try. But I recommend to pause that video after kind of the premiere of it, I guess, to pause it. So that's another factor I didn't really take into consideration is that on the premiere it's not going to let you pause probably, but I want to get a chance for me to watch it with other folks and so to bounce off any questions and get some feedback and stuff. So I think that's going to be a pretty cool video. So the second one I have planned, which I've gotten started on, is the kind of notation practice play along kind of video that I've been doing a bit of recently. So I plan to do that, and then I plan to record myself playing it. So there are a couple of things that I'm probably going to kind of change about it. So I think like for that chord, for example, that we talked about, where was it here? I'm probably gonna play something a little more like this. And I've kind of so I'm probably gonna change a couple of just that little things. So when on the third video, when I kind of go to play it and record it, let's plan anyway. Record myself playing it. I'd like to keep this same note. So moving this to, so James asks, will it be recorded? So this first video, this is going to be the chord melody shapes video. That's the one coming at 4 o'clock, and that will be pre-recorded. That's pre-recorded and uploaded, and it's going to premiere at 4 o'clock. So it's going to be playing from like 4 o'clock. It's about 16 minutes long, 15 minutes. It's under 20 minutes. It's just going to play through, and then we're gonna and so I'll just kind of, I'm gonna keep my eye on the live chat, and not sure how this redirect is gonna work. I'm hoping it's gonna work okay. But then after the premiere is done, it'll be open to rewatch and pause and all those things. So there are a couple little things like that, so it has this really kind of cool turnaround at the end. So we get this chord, which is a C major 7 with a 13 and a 9. So it goes to that, and I kind of like the idea of keeping that tone going on that same fret, on the same string, and doing this. And I like going to the F, so I'm probably going to end up doing that, and then everything else on that, at least on that aspect, will kind of be the same. So I'll end up going to this, and then over into this chord. So that's how it kind of ends. So just a couple little things like that I might do just a little bit differently from what the chord melody shapes video will be, and then what the practice play along will be. So try to keep it as close to the original, at least that I'm referencing. So another thing is this chord, rather than playing this note here, I'm probably gonna play that 5th string open. So there are a couple of really kind of cool chords in there. This D sharp 7, sharp 9, flat 5. Pretty cool shape in there. And a lot of others. There's another one here. And I have it all kind of color coded and all that. So I think it's going to be pretty easy to follow, but I go through it pretty quickly. And I think, like I said at the beginning of the live stream today, kind of worked in a team. So I stayed on the guitar, and then I had my assistant change the slide that was on there, so that it all moves kind of pretty quickly, and I think pretty smoothly. So hopefully it'll be pretty easy to follow. So the kind of PDF that I was referencing, I'll have to check out the handwriting on chord chemistry. So chord chemistry was one of the books that wrote It's kind of, I'd say, kind of famous. The in the kind of jazz guitar world. So it's the book called uh, Chord Chemistry. I know I have a copy of it somewhere, but not seeing it now. But I will just kind of look at the handwriting, kind of say, because it's all, I think it's all sort of handwritten out. So I'm not sure if it was necessarily his handwriting or someone else's, but so here's kind of a cool book to Modern Chord Progression, Jazz and Classical Voicings for Guitar by Ted Green. That sounds really cool. But there's some really neat moments in it. Everybody will enjoy that. All right, everybody. So we're gonna have the video coming out here in a few minutes. Maybe I'll show you some kind of maybe notable chord shapes. So this one is a really D major 7, add 9. So that may show up as a D add 9. Really, it's kind of D major 9, omit 3. So I'm barring there. This on the middle, 4 strings. Okay. So barring here, and finger 3 on string 4, fret 7, and finger 2, string 3, fret 6. So check out some other chord shapes here. So the bridge has some pretty interesting chord shapes, what I mentioned a couple minutes ago. Here's another one that's kind of cool if you want to give it a try. So this one I have string or finger 1 on string 3, fret 6, finger 4, on string 2, fret 9, finger 3 on string 4, fret 9. And it's all kind of color coded based on when the note comes out. So here's another chord. So some of them are inversions. This one. So this one kind of hold this tone. So these nice little movements to things. Some of them are kind of slash chords, where they're only labeled as, like, this would be labeled as E, but it's really kind of E over B. So little moments like that. So I mentioned some of those with one finger on 2 strings. So, and some of the chords are real, very basic chords. So got bar chord, F sharp minor. So it's a fairly broad mix. There's some other moments that are kind of get some movement going. So we have going like that. Here's kind of a neat little thing, which I did adapt this one a little bit. So the original notation or had kind of chord symbols on it. So to play this, which is E7, I thought something like this accomplishes the same thing, but it gets a little more easier to let everything ring, for one thing. But and this is all done kind of finger picking. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for checking this out. Looks like we are moving over to the other other video here on YouTube. So thanks for checking this out.